What's up, YouTube? It's Jed again. This is my second video regarding Therianthropy. My first was pretty well received as far as I'm concerned, since never putting anything up on YouTube. And not quite 200 views, but I decided to put up another, since there's been some demand, I suppose. When I started doing these videos, I was planning on doing, the usual things Therians like to converse about, regarding, phenotypes, maybe talk about myself a little bit, awakenings, shifting, the interesting shit. But I've had some stuff on my mind, and since it's my channel, I'm going to do what I want. So I'm going to go ahead and say it. I'm going to cover a lot of patterns that I've seen in the Therian community and why I think a lot of Therians get into it to begin with, not just, if someone hears about it and they take it to heart and they really start their journey, if you want to call it that. Well, the big one is that most Therians you're going to come in contact with are going to be adolescents, whether in their teens or, early 20s. The reason I figure for this, psychologically, regardless of spiritually, is that younger people, especially adolescents, are trying to find themselves, not only on the Therian standpoint, but in anything. You don't have to be a Therian to be trying to find yourself when you're a kid growing up. And another pattern, which goes almost hand in hand with the age, is depression. I've been conversing in the community for plenty of years, and this is a question I usually ask of people once I get to know them pretty well, is if you're dealing with depression. And the reason I take this so seriously is because I do as well. I'm even thinking about writing a paper on this, because it's just fascinating. The number of Therians you ask, the ratio of people who are dealing with depression to ones who have nothing wrong in their lives, like everything's peachy. I suffer from severe depression and severe anxiety, so I'm a very black and white thinker, usually more black than white, meaning things are the end of the world more often than I'm having a good day. And this happens with a lot of undiagnosed adolescents that deal with this as well. I went 5 years just trying to tough it out. It doesn't work. It builds on itself. And it'll just pick away at you, basically. If you haven't studied depression, I suggest you do, because it has a lot to do, I think, with Therians coming into what they are today. So yeah, the reason being is that if you are not only socially awkward but actually suffer from severe anxiety or depression, it's going to make it that much worse to get out there and intermingle with regular people, if you want to call them regular people, because I can't really tell you what regular is. I freaking think I'm part wolf, and I'm trying to tell you what regular is. That's a whole other video, though. Yeah. So if you suffer from depression or anxiety, you're going to be naturally socially awkward, not only from your own experiences, which you will continue to try to read people's minds, and everyone does this. You don't have to be depressed or suffer from anxiety to be trying to form your own self-perception. Everyone does that with their own experience, but what I'm saying is that people who suffer from depression or anxiety are already predisposed, due to chemical imbalances in the brain, to have a negative self-perception, which leads right into therianthropy, because if you consider there's something wrong with you that's making it hard to go about your life or go about meeting new people, just be around people in general, you're going to start to look for concrete reasons that that would be happening to you. When I looked into therianthropy, I wasn't suffering from depression that badly, but I was always predisposed to it, so I probably did go looking for something that was different in myself to explain why I felt so uncomfortable around people. And if you can look me in the webcam over the internet, say you're a Therian, and tell me that you don't have some kind of negative outlook on humanity or just other people, I applaud you, because that took me a long time to figure out. Not only depression and anxiety, but a lot of Therians, once they decide that that is the right path for them, it gives them that concrete reason to separate themselves from human society. I mean, you think, I'm part animal, I don't belong among you people. And that's another thing you hear a lot from Therians, is that, you know, they have a really negative outlook on humanity as a whole. And just because you grab onto something that's going to prove that you're different to yourself, maybe not to others, because almost all of us keep it a secret for one reason or another, you know, it's not good. It feeds on itself, and it's only going to remove you more from society, as you should be able to enjoy it. So yeah, being, you know, having the spirit of an animal, identifying with an animal, if you look to therianthropy as a reason to separate yourself from human society, I consider that a mistake. Through my periods of doubt and depression, in my own therianthropy, I was often brought back to that. Do I hate all humans? No. Life is a gift no matter what form you're put on this earth with. And I feel like everyone should make their best effort to get out there and enjoy life. I mean, if you look to animals as being more majestic creatures, and that's why you want to identify with them, and you think they have everything in the world figured out because they're closer to the earth, I'm not gonna tell you not to. I mean, that's a big reason I do it too, but I don't think animals have it all figured out, and I don't think they have it so much better than we do. Animals live to survive. Humans live to survive for thousands of years. And the reason many Therians decide, or I'm assuming many Therians decide to awaken, really, and purge themselves from society, is from their hatred from the gluttonous, greedy, violent nature of humans. But the way I see it, humans are just another animal, and as much bad as you see in the world, there's just as much good. But if you decide you're a Therian because you don't want to be a part of it, you're never going to see the good in it. So I suggest to anyone who is suffering from depression or anxiety to look into that and figure out your real reasons for being a Therian. And if you come out the other side like me, and it didn't just go away because it was some, you know, some grudge you have against humanity or your life or other people, you know, good for you. Because, you know, I doubted my therianthropy because that's why I thought I got into it in the first place, but it's not. It came back. It's never going to go away. And I'd love some input on things you want me to talk about, because I doubt my creativity is going to be like this for long. So, see ya.